Hey everyone. Okay, so in this video, let's talk about Fantasyland and what the potential Fantasyland has for future expansions. I got a great question from a subscriber. I'm going to read you the question, and then we're going to dig right in. All right, so the question comes from Oakview Films. And Oakview is asking, what do you expect to see in a future Fantasyland remodel? This includes any new rides, restaurants, shows, plussing old attractions, and anything you feel will get removed. My bet is a clone of the Seven Dwarf Mine Train, but Frozen themed instead, like what they're getting at Hong Kong Disneyland. Well, Oakview, thank you so much for this question. Well, first of all, I have not heard of that, of the Mine Train themed to Frozen. I love that idea, and I would absolutely love to see that come to Disneyland in Anaheim. I think that is very likely. I mean, if Hong Kong is getting that attraction, I could see us getting a similar attraction. And we need it. Here in California, in Anaheim, we don't have a lot of, in my opinion, a lot of family-friendly roller coasters. And everyone's idea of family-friendly is different. Some people think the Incredicoaster is family-friendly. I don't. It's way too intense for a lot of people. Even Space Mountain, I don't think it's a family-friendly coaster. It's very, very intense for a lot of people. So there's not a whole lot of family-friendly coasters out there. We don't have like a Mine Train or like a Slinky Dog. We don't have a lot of coasters like that. And I would love to see something like that come to Anaheim, and Frozen is really a perfect thing for that type of attraction. So yeah, I'm all for it. I would love to see that, and I do think that we will get some kind of Frozen attraction or even like mini land within Fantasyland themed to Frozen. Whether, I know there's a lot of hate out there for Frozen, but whether you like it or hate it, it's the biggest film that Disney Animation has ever done, and they're gonna capitalize on that. Disney never shies away from that, so just get used to more Frozen. We're gonna get a Frozen area or at least an attraction in any Fantasyland expansion that we get. I would also expect to see some sort of Tangled attraction. You know, we've seen a lot of these Fantasyland expansions, like the one we're seeing in Tokyo. You know, Tangled does seem to have a lot of representation. Okay, so I think we will get some sort of Tangled ride. In Tokyo, speaking of Tokyo, they're getting a whole area themed to Peter Pan. And one of their signature attractions is a Peter Pan ride that will utilize that technology from Flight of Passage from the Avatar area in Florida. Now, I love this idea, absolutely love this idea. And I know a lot of Disneyland purists will get upset with what I'm gonna say. I would be fine if they shut down the current Peter Pan attraction in Fantasyland, replaced it with another, franchise or movie, and built this version of Peter Pan that Tokyo is getting. Now, first of all, if Tokyo is getting it, chances are it's gonna be epic, mind-blowing craziness, right? Tokyo gets all the cool stuff. So I'm not even worried about how cool it's going to be. But I would love to see, look, technology improves. And if we can get a more realistic Peter Pan's experience, we're flying over Neverland, flying through London, why not? Why not? Walt Disney was always about moving forward. If we had the technology to provide a much more realistic Peter Pan experience, let's go for it. I would love to see that Tokyo Disney sees Peter Pan attraction come to Anaheim. That would be killer. I would love that. Now, will it happen? I don't know. I mean, Peter Pan, I don't think Disney really sees Peter Pan as like a hot IP right now. I mean, it's iconic and it's classic, but again, it's a very old movie, So, but personally, I would love to see that. But I think that's pretty much what we're going to see. I think we're going to see a lot of Frozen, a lot of Tangled. I would love to see a lot more of the Renaissance era represented. Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid. That whole era of Disney animation, the Renaissance era, is like the crown jewel of the studio post-Walt. It's a sin that our Fantasyland is so underrepresents that era I mean, we don't have anything from that era, really. We have that little tiny, like, Rapunzel, like, whatever statue in that little courtyard. And we have now the Red Rose Tavern, which is themed to Beauty and the Beast. But really, there's not a whole lot there. I would love to see an attraction themed to Beauty and the Beast, or even the Be Our Guest restaurant that Florida has. Bring that to Anaheim. Things like that. I would absolutely love to see it. Another thing I want to see in any Fantasyland expansion is, now I love the princess movies. They're my favorite in the Walt Disney Animation Library. You all know this if you watch my channel. Those are my favorite kind of Disney animated films. But I feel like Disney overuses them in Fantasyland. Fantasyland doesn't have to be just princesses. So let's bring some other kind of movies into the mix that isn't a princess. Okay, let's bring something different. Bring Fantasia, Sorcerer's Apprentice. There's a million things that Disney can do with the theme of fantasy that would fit in that land that doesn't have to revolve around the princesses. Even if you do a ride, let's say a big e-ticket based on the villains, that would be cool. You know, a villain attraction, anything. But let's mix it up a little bit. You know, let's mix it up a little bit. Let's kind of break away from the princess stuff and give us something else a little bit. You know, I don't know. That's how I feel about it. I love the princess movies. I love the fairy tales. But I feel like Fantasyland is bigger than that. You can branch out and do other things. I wish Disney would. Will they do that? I don't know. Probably not. The princesses are $1 billion franchise, but I think it would be pretty cool if they did. But those are my thoughts on this. You know, I really want, to kind of, in short, I really want to see something Frozen because I love the movie and I think it's a big property. I want to see Frozen. I want to see Tangled represented. I want to see new properties represented that aren't princess related in Fantasyland. And, honestly, I want to see that Peter Pan ride from Tokyo Disney Sea come to Anaheim. I want to see that come here. You can replace the old Peter Pan attraction with something else, but let's get that attraction here in Anaheim. That would be epic. That would be awesome. But what are your guys' thoughts on a Fantasyland expansion? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What do you want to see come? What do you think will come realistically? I would love to hear from you. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I appreciate you guys, your support so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do content on Disney parks, the movies, Pixar, Star Wars, a lot of Star Wars, all the time. Thank you so much for watching and have a magical day.